I'm in a t-shirt. Oh, I love it when, like, I kind of like this part of winter where, yeah, it's like freezing fucking cold in the morning, but then like you hit this noonish sweet spot, and it's like a couple hours of spring in the middle of the fucking day. And we're starting to get that weather. We've been getting that weather. Maybe in the last week or so, but definitely this has been yesterday after the snowstorm. A full day after the snowstorm, that is. It was real good in the afternoon, and so now it is again and all that. So nice and comfy. Can't wait to stop wearing layers and needing to take fucking an extra 5 minutes to get dressed in the fucking morning. Oh my gosh. Inhaling and exhaling, trying to feel good about the situation, right? There's gonna be two kinds of people in the future. People that got the strength within themselves and have found some people, and the people that don't, right? There's technically going to be four kinds of people, really, because it's one of those two kinds of people, but then there's a subset of them, right? You're going to have the people with people and the people that are lonely, and you're going to have the people that are strong alone or strong independent within the people versus the weak ones, so on and so forth. And there's going to be a weak and strong split, but it's not going to be this like weakling, like you're not physically strong, although that does factor, but it's really about what's going on in your frequency vibration, because you might have an absolute monster of a fucking man, but he's like quadriplegic or something, right? But he's got a presence, he's got a mind, right? And extreme circumstances, often when you become the example of that, it becomes shaming to others around you that felt comforted because you still had your problems, but you kind of had that inner confidence, right? But if, and then they hope you don't change, because then if you do, you're going to live a life that they don't want to live or that they can't live, right? I can think of a couple of ladies that I would never want to court again as I knew them, because I loved them. They were great, but now I live this life, and the odds of them being interested in that is not going to exist, right? Because I assumed that if a lady liked me and like, oh, here I go, I'm capable of having a girlfriend, I really like her, and this feels great, and I'm happy, we're good, right? I'm making certain assumptions that she's gonna be like really, like she's seeing what I'm doing and it grows on her. Right? And I don't know why. I think I want the relationship to go down like that. But I am not married to the relationship going down like that. But I just don't think about it anymore. Because everybody I've ever met has always told me, don't think about it. Move forward, whatever, and all that. And yes, that is the truth. And I don't pity the horn dogs around. Or, well, I do pity the horn dogs around me, because usually their women are of the more inferior quality. You know, they would never be capable of the inward to outward transmutation of feelings. To first let the goddamn feelings in, and then figure out how a man is supposed to let them out. Because I tell you what, I love my dad. Dad, if you ever catch this message, I love you. I'm not trying to insult, but it's just the way it turned out. But I was not going to look at my dad as my role model for all sorts of things. It was all of the unconscious projection of the demiurge became my father. And that's one of the things I appreciate about looking at how the Gnostics look at the situation. And it's just like, the demiurge is mostly an egregore that you're meant to outgrow. There's the serious problem of the demiurge as it is propagated by the system that created it for its intended purpose in the dark sorcery among us. We have to continue to expose and maintain the truth through the exposure. To protect one's own character. This is very, very hard shit to do, right? And because awareness has been moving as slow as it is, the enemy has had time to have some form of forces that are a retributive defense. But when you've got the alignment down, when core intelligence is kicked in, you're gonna have the it of mind to liberate and to demonstrate liberation. I still have to make an actual material fucking success of myself, but that doesn't bother me anymore because I don't have all of the handicaps in my mind, because I finally figured out enough things to navigate the world without worrying about being entrapped in most situations. I was grateful for many of my foolish choices, avoiding the government, the corporations, the whatever. When COVID came and my life didn't revolve around the necessity of food stamps and welfare and Section 8 housing, right? And so I was able to bypass it all because of the unconscious wisdom of making sure you don't have those attachments. And I think now I've grown to a point where I may be a little bit better with everything, where I might be able to functionally play, like, functionally have the interface I need to exist in the system, while also protecting everything that I need to do, right? It is not hard to not get kirked. Just don't have any Israeli friends. But seriously. You can't pity these people. They're pathetic. They're all made men. None of them have any idea why everybody all of a sudden is really into what they're doing, and where the sales are really coming from, and who's actually backing up the free marketing that you're getting out of nowhere. Where all of a sudden everybody's got a video news release on their fucking whatever about your organization. All of a sudden your opinion is the opinion of one swath of the nation. You're paying the price for not paying attention. He's living an insulated life. Completely insulated. People don't necessarily get that because, oh man, he's traveled the country. Oh man, he's spoken to so many people. Oh man, he's been to the world and all that stuff. And he was put on a sightseeing tour filtered by his religious community, which was baked into Zionist cosmology and invites the government to be a part of it because of how fucking much they love the whole idea of the thing. They're dangerous to the core, blind to the core. There's a reason they fucking picked the Mormon state of Utah. Utah's like a hair off of a fucking theocracy. The Constitution's the only reason why they aren't. Like they've got, they've got like a goth chick news anchor in Alabama. Okay? Utah, like Alabama is less likely to go theocratic than Utah. That's how bad it is in Utah. And that's, if you want to know what dark MAGA possibly is, well, there it is. That's about as black as MAGA gets. Right? MAGA is turning into the equivalent of, Muad'Dib's Qizarats or whatever. Like they're named after his status as the God Emperor, the Kwisatz Haderach. Right? And so, you get enough MAGA guys that are trained fucking killers, that are loyal, on that level, right? Especially if they can't help but see the Bible coming true in front of this president, right? It becomes this drug. It becomes this drug. It builds his righteousness up until he sees somebody who is anything that's not him by a long, complex set of rules coming from leadership and from scriptural adherence, driving him mad. And he will kill you. Not, it doesn't matter. You don't have to look like anything. So he just picks it up from X, Y, and Z things, and then he gets just enough personal confirmation in his internal clock, and then Loki is just like, yes, you blind fool, let it fly now! And then Balder dies. And that's what happens. Right? So, the very dark, adult nature of the subject, and the infantilization of the American mind through the manner of degenerative entertainment foisted on us by the plot of the Incunabula, as understood through their low-end priest, the Epstein. This is destroyed, right? This is this destroyed these people and made them susceptible to anything, right? And it makes it even more traumatic. Right? The truther needed to see the human condition in 2020. It was necessary. It was necessary to go through that much pain because it was like the higher force said, Steve, don't be insulted, but none of you get it. And you're going to have to see how bad it is. You've got to change your messaging, bro, because they're done. They're done with this narrative saving them or waking them up or whatever. I have to be mindful as this Neptune transit of Aries passes by not to get delusional. As this thing is going to be passing through my sun. And the sun will eventually be conjunct this thing. Well before it gets to my sun. So this could drive my ego nuts, right? Because I've been on quite a roll as far as I'm myself personally concerned. So I want to openly talk about my own personal, quote, restraints, right? Although I am gonna be the werewolf. The anti-hero vampires are always amazing. I kind of liken it to Alucard in the Helsing franchise, the Van Helsing franchise. Holy shit! And he's got he's got the granddaughter of Helsing is the Helsing organization chief, and she's got him on a leash, And, he's a psychopath. He's kind of like, if you like the whole thing with, like, how Venom is kind of like a psychopath who learns how to be a good boy. Well, Alucard never learns how to be a good boy. But he does find delight in having a purpose destroying evil, because he is such a high-class monster that that every other monster that Hellsing's ever thrown in front of him has just had no goddamn fucking honor, no fucking manners, because there's something. He's inherently got the suave, right? I mean, like, he's Dracula, right? He's Dracula, and the Alucard in reverse is Dracula, which is on the nose, and it's always used as such, and sometimes it's because he's his kid or whatever, and it's always done like that, to be like, I am the mere, like, what if I was the good guy, da 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 da. Remember what I said about Dracula? About how in reality he's more like Doctor Doom. He's more of an anti-hero, a national hero, right? Somebody who maybe was a villain to the world, but was always the best to his own people, right? Unequivocally the best to his own people, or at least adequate by the world's standards, right? And does it very, very well because of his singular control over the economics and everything else. It's, it's very Nazi. It's very socialist, right? But because I believe he has freedom, I can't remember, and Latveria has gone through a lot of different changes in the comics too, so I don't want to go on about that. Point is, me operating with different levels of what I am capable of as per what is appropriate, listening to my higher self for all of those cues, like, you better ready up level 2, motherfucker, because this guy looks dangerous, and your nervous system needs to be on alert, right? And it's these things, right? And so, meanwhile, the man is completely in control on the outside, but the beast is the loyal guard dog within. And upon the Emperor's cue, he shall be released. And this is working on the attainment of the Veristraga, which is the white wolf, the intelligent wolf. And it is insane crazy how fucking much White Wolf Publishing's Tart universe fucking did it. Ha! Ha! So, yeah. Operating with the guidelines. It's all good. Either way. People need to have a healthy ability to look at themselves and look at a situation and say, have I been contributing to this? And stop and That's typically thing one everybody's been doing, which is why people just don't go see movies anymore. It's like it's not even boycotting. It's just like, I'm not even boycotting this. I just know it's going to be fucking bad. I don't even need to listen to the movie review guy to tell me it's bad. I just better hope that he's really good at making fun of it, because I'd rather just hear him make fun of the movie that I don't want to watch. Right? So, you know, the relationship changes, but what are you turning that focus into? Right? You know, now that you've got nothing left but horrible shit and retroactive stuff, not to be confused with radioactive stuff, retroactive fucking stuff, like, oh, let's watch 77 Star Wars the 100th fucking time. So we need to do much better. We have to believe in ourselves at least enough to say, am I worth defending myself? Should I actually bother to stop feeling crushed and destroyed by the fact that Terminator robots are going to assist corrupt cops in killing me in self-defense and calling it suicide by cop instead, by spinning it that I was the assailant, so they never get in trouble for anything, because, you know, it would be demoralizing to say that we ever do anything wrong in real time. We'll handle it under the cover of 3 months from now in litigation that nobody's gonna fucking care about, and somebody will get a pittance of appeasement and a notice to keep their fucking mouth shut about it. And and it's hard not to say that we aren't kind of living through Mayor Fisk series in Daredevil, right? You know, I lost respect for Razor Fist when he couldn't entertain at all the some of the fair points in the narrative that were mirroring how the new wait, did that come out while Trump, did that come out last year when Trump's in the middle of his thing? I think so, right? Dude, last year was so fucking fast. What the fuck happened last year? Jesus. But it doesn't matter what Disney did. Mayor Fisk in the comic books is, you know, is also a big deal. So, you know, you got nothing, right? And the only thing that's certain is that your need for them to take your money to give you back some sort of big collective help is going to get sucked into a sham of a snow shoveling job in New York City. And it's going to do nothing for nobody. So I'm gonna call it here. And I think that's all pretty like start, my defending. Is my spouse worth defending? You know? Is my family worth defending? I mean, upward and out and just, for fuck's sake, just stop. Just stop. The things you've loved have been lame for a long time, and they're lamer now than ever since they fucking, activated all this weird shit on behalf of Epstein and refused to stop. And all these organizations want to go down with the fucking ship because the blackmail is so tight that they'd rather fucking tear the whole thing down than turn themselves in for crimes against humanity. You see how many fucking owners of football teams are in the Epstein files? It's enormous. The ball game is real, man. Ball's got you by the balls. Which is why you're not going to do anything, because you need it. So get off of it. You ball junkies. Alright. I can't check any messages, which I'm really sorry. I can't even see. I can't see who it is who is not the wrench. So I can't read your comments. I'm very sorry. So leave me comments if there's anything you want to make sure I got as a message once I get this stream public. If I remember to get it public. Oh my god, so busy. I'll catch you guys later.